draws like you Denzel. I don't believe in snacks, you could get the whole meal, that's real.
Hello, y'all. Welcome to Behind Closed Doors. It's your girl, Latoya Grove. How y'all doing tonight?
Yep. It's your man, Crown Royal. What's going on? It's Friday. Let's do it.
It's Phone in Friday, y'all. We want y'all to call in today and talk to us because we got I think it's a great conversation to have because I feel that a lot of people are going through this at the moment, mental illness, right? So
going through it because what?
there's a lot of shit going on. So people just especially now with COVID going on, people is freaking out.
Being crept in the same house with somebody you really don't love all day or every day.
That too.
Or being nerve-wracking because you got some badass kids that don't know how to sit down, and you gotta teach them how the dad gonna do their arithmetic, and you not no teacher. I'm pretty sure that'd be some issues.
I don't appreciate you putting my business out there like that. I don't appreciate that.
What's this? You took that personal.
I don't appreciate you.
You took that personal. I was talking about people in general. I wasn't even using you as an example.
Mm-hmm. You was thinking about me.
Nah, when I don't be talking about other people's kids.
Whatever.
Except if they're in my face.
Oh gosh. All right, y'all. So make sure you share and like the show. We want to have a watch party tonight, y'all. Speak to us. Say hello, whoever comes on. Say hello to us. You want to call in tonight? Call in. Get your drink. Get you some water. Whatever you want to sip on, and just chill out and relax with us tonight.
You want to
right now.
Get some brown juice.
Brown juice. What kind of brown juice?
Yeah.
Some sweet tea.
Nah, that ain't the brown juice I'm talking about. All right,
whatever.
I got a public service announcement.
Oh, here we go. You got to stretch for that one.
Yeah, I got a public service announcement.
Go ahead.
This is based on mental illness, so I guess this is very apropos to what we're discussing tonight.
Sure. Uh-oh.
Toya, as you probably know, because we discussed it earlier, which you didn't know when we discussed it, Mr. Bipolar Kanye West is running for president.
Well, I knew that he was running, but it was certain stuff I didn't.
Well, you
realize.
Thought he dropped out.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of people might have thought he dropped out. But when you bipolar, you're not balanced.
You all over the place.
You all over the place. And in all actuality, I'm just saying this in the aspects of I don't want people to be bamboozled. This is just a display of, Trump and the Republican Party putting him as a third-party candidate in key swing states to try to muffle the vote and try to get Trump reelected. And I'm not here to tell anybody to vote for whomever.
Vote for whoever you want to vote for.
You vote for whoever you want to vote for.
Is
but I'm going to say I have people in my family that have mental illness issues, and I wouldn't vote for them for president, and I love them. So I don't want people to actually get like bamboozled into thinking because you like the Yeezys or you like Jesus Walks or something that way that he can get your vote. And I hope people don't fall for that dumb shit. But that's the public service announcement. And not even to mention, did you know he's trying to bring prayer back into schools?
He's trying to bring prayer back into schools.
He want prayer. We have prayer in the classrooms.
So he's going to bring back the Pledge of Allegiance too?
No, the Pledge of Allegiance is already there. I'm talking about actual prayer.
They don't really do that. They don't do that anymore.
It's state to state type thing, isn't it? They don't do it in your kids' school?
No.
I don't know. I ain't got no kids.
Let me ask my daughter what's the Pledge of Allegiance. She'll look at me like I'm crazy. She ain't gonna know nothing I'm talking about.
Well, good.
Well, they don't. Right.
But in a lot of states, they still do it.
But how you gonna try to bring prayer back into schools? Everybody is not.
What did you hear? What he's going to do about getting women to have babies instead of having abortion?
What?
He was going to pay. He had a plan of paying women if you pregnant and you was going to have abortion to actually for you to keep it, give you $1 million. So you can for you to actually support the child.
I'm keeping it. Give me the $1 million. No, sorry.
When they, but when they asked him how was you going to pay for it, he had
Who pockets is coming out of?
no idea.
It's coming from his
And
pocket.
what is it for somebody? You know, his jokers out here that got 7, 8, 9, 12 kids. You paying $1 million for each kid?
I don't think he got enough millions for that.
No, he just.
You don't got enough millions for that.
That's the erratic mental illness talking.
He just talking a whole bunch of shit.
No, it's the erratic. He was revved
I think he
up.
talks and then I don't even know if he thinks later.
Well, that's a whole part of the bipolar thing. You know, they got ups and downs and ebbs and flows, and you just, you know.
Right.
But we'll be discussing that today. Well, not Kanye. I'm done with him. But
the mental illness part.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to go into the signs to look for in mental illness?
The signs to look for. I guess we could do that. Wait, first of all, is there somebody on here tonight? Is there people on? Anybody watching us?
I don't care.
Say hello.
I'm still going to be talking.
So it is people watching us. So speak to us, y'all. All right.
It's a lot of different things that come into mental illness, and the main forms are people that have like a clinical depressions.
Mm-hmm.
People have like anxiety, and I know a lot of people that have anxiety problems.
Really?
And when you have anxiety or you know, like panic attacks,
right.
Then it's like the bipolar disorder, when you basically, you know, have your mood swings,
right.
your ups and your downs. Dementia.
Dementia.
Yeah, I understand that. I've seen that in my family. It's a lot of times when people get older, you know, their mind starts to break down.
Right.
It's one of the reasons why, I do a lot of word puzzles, and I read. I try to keep
your
brain active. Just
strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that really helps.
It couldn't hurt.
I don't think it would hurt, but I don't know if that helps.
Couldn't hurt.
Once your brain starts breaking down, it's breaking down. I would feel. But who knows? I'm not a damn doctor.
Yeah, then you start talking about people that have we always ADHD.
Right.
Or even OCD.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people try to say like I have an OCD, which you know, obsession compulsive disorder.
I wonder what causes that.
Well, it's something in your head, in your brain.
Something in your
but
brain.
A lot of people are obsessive about certain things, and they blame it on having an OCD, but sometimes it's just you just kind of set in your ways about what you like to do and things of that nature. But one of the biggest things is Black people in the Black community, we don't actually look at mental illness as being a true problem.
Right.
It's like something that we actually push off, and that's something.
It's frowned upon.
First,
like people don't want people to look at them differently. Basically, I feel, or treat them different because they have a mental illness or whatever the case may be.
Well, first of all, Black people are tended to have issues and mental illnesses from the door because you're Black in America. And this is not me saying this. This is actually a Columbia University study. Because you have to, with the stress of dealing with racism, classism, sexism, and all the things that come upon being Black in America, it causes a lot of mental issues and stress on people. Certain things that happen to us don't happen to other people because we are Black. And people, they have anxiety over that, or they have more stress in their life because of that. And we don't actually try to treat it. It's just basically, I would say my generation and like my parents' generation was more or less about sucking it up. But you know, now, you know, younger people and people that are under 45 actually see these systematic things that cause them type of stress and problems, and they try to get help.
I think maybe by the time a person reaches a certain age, they start paying a little bit more attention to the problems they're having because of race. Because as far as me, when I was younger, I never really paid attention to that. I don't know. So not everyone. You can't say, "Oh, black people just been having these issues when they like because they're black." Like, I don't think a lot of people really pay attention to just because they're black. That's why they're having these issues until they reach like probably a certain age. Like, cause I never been through that situation, I guess, and I'm sure a lot of other people haven't neither. Maybe like, what problems you had growing up because you're black? You had.
It's not growing.
like
It was. I'm not talking about growing up.
But that you had to face.
I'm talking
because
about people have mental anguish and they have more pressures on them because this is a type
That's
of
what I'm
society
saying.
they lived in.
Like I wouldn't have recognized those pressures until I got older. So it's probably within a certain age frame that people start seeing that.
Well, if you live or work or go to school in a different community, when you more mixed, you will see that.
When you're more mixed.
When you're in a more integrated society type thing.
Okay,
Or
well
if you use
that makes sense. That
if
makes
you-
sense because when I went to school, it was mostly black people, it was Spanish people.
Right.
So okay. Well, that makes more sense. But
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general, society is harder on people of color. So some people actually do take that as though it causes them stress, especially if they being, have got any type of pushback because they are who they are they being teased or bullied. I mean, people, even if you're dealing with the same people of the same race, you can be bullied and teased in school, and that causes you mental anguish. But like
that's definitely true. I was bullied in school before, so
yeah. And when depression comes in a lot of different ways. When you start talking about depression, we all get depressed.
Right.
We all have a bad day, and but sometimes what we do is we just push it off and saying, "I'm just in a rough patch."
Right.
But I know through the research they said when you having a bad time, if you're depressed for more than 14 days,
Right.
then you should probably look
See a
and
doctor.
see if something else is
What's
more
wrong?
more wrong with you.
Okay. Well, I got some signs here to look out for, guys. Okay.
All right.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're depressed or you have a mental illness. Check in with your doctor and figure that shit out.
Hey,
All right.
Tina.
Hey, Tina. All right, so one is having feelings of sadness or depression that lasts longer than 2 weeks.
Right.
Similar to what you said. If you're not able to snap out of it after the 2 weeks, you should definitely go get checked out and try to figure out what's going on with you. You know something ain't right, okay? Having extreme mood swings and you don't know why. That could be a sign. Maybe depression. Get checked out.
That also be a sign of being bipolar.
Or bipolar.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So you get withdrawn from people. You don't want to be around people when you used to go out a lot and just like to be social, and you just don't want to be around people at all. You don't even have the strength to even get out of bed and do anything. It could be a sign of depression.
Yes, it is.
All right. So just get checked out, guys, because especially during these times now, a lot of people are more depressed than ever right now. So just...
They should be depressed.
They should.
The world's in fucking shambles.
The world been in shambles.
Yeah, but guess what?
But now it's like more in your face.
It's more in your face. You can't move. The
People
economy
telling you what
is
you can do, what you can't do.
telling you what but telling you what?
I'm just saying, it's telling you with this massive, you can't do stuff. You're restricted to a lot of things right now. So
Right, but it's a pandemic, and the problem is with that is people are too stuck in their ideology of freedoms that they don't look in the big picture. But that's just my opinion. Right, Peach, black people look down on mental illness. Of course, that's some punk shit. What you mean what you mean you going through something? You
Right.
suck it up,
Right,
especially
right.
as
Especially
I'm
as a
saying
male,
as
for
a
a
man.
male, right.
That's
Yeah,
no. They just
for a
some
male.
some punk shit. What you crying
Yeah.
about? Suck it up.
That's some bullshit right there.
Most
but,
black people can't recognize signs for mental illness. Yeah, they can, but they don't try to.
right.
They don't try to
In
because
denial.
you in denial, saying we just sit. It's a rough patch. I'm having a bad day, but when you can't get yourself out of bed,
Right.
but it has to be something that you can point to. When it's mental illness, like okay, I understand. Say for instance, if you have a relationship and you broke up with somebody, yeah, you're going to be depressed.
You're sad.
I get
Right.
that. That's something that you can pinpoint.
But after,
But what I'm saying when it's something that you can't pinpoint
right.
and you just sad,
down, period. Right.
and then you start, and then it's something where as though I don't want to go on. I don't. It went to the point where as though you don't want to go. You can't get out of the bed. You can't. You start withdrawing from your friends.
Right. Yeah.
And you know.
Just want to be. You just in a dark place. You don't want no type of sunlight. You don't want to be bothered with anyone.
And on a personal note, and I'm going to put up. It's sometimes we talk regularly, and you'll say, I say I ain't hear from you. I wasn't.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling like being
I'm
bothered. Right.
I'm just not being bothered.
Right.
But
That's true.
that's you having a bad day. I wouldn't put that saying that you had a mental illness because it's like the next day you like, or 2 days later it's like I was going through something I didn't really feel like being bothered
Right.
or something like that. That's where you bounce back.
Right. Right.
But you think about when it's people that's just like that bad day is continuous and it goes on, and especially in these times where as though people are secluded, you can't get out, and a lot of times they can't be with their loved ones and things like that. You have to actually try to reach out to people and actually have more communication.
You gotta try to snap yourself out of it, like you do, like Crown has mentioned. He might not hear from me for a couple days. You might not hear from me for a whole damn week, maybe. But I'll be in my feelings. Everybody goes through
It's
this.
never been a week. If it's
Not a whole week.
If it's the maximum been 3 days. If it's been a week, I'd have came and found your ass.
It would have been okay. But it felt like that. That's what it felt like.
It felt like that.
Felt like
yeah.
It was like really a long time, and I just was down. I was really in my feelings, and I just wanted to isolate myself. I'd turn off my phone even sometime, But then I got to start talking to myself like, listen, you got to snap out of this. You got to get up. You got to do something. But you have to force yourself, So then I end up calling you and we talk a little bit, or whoever.
Yeah, Tina, we having that
what I mean?
subject.
Let's talk about it, Tina. But some people it's not that easy to snap out of it.
Right. But But the thing is, we as people, I'm saying specifically as black people, we have to accept that we may have somebody in our life that's going through something, and truly listen, and maybe even, I'm a proponent of therapy. I'm a big, your mama, your daddy, your friends, and not even all your pastor. I'm sorry, religious people. They can't always help you, and that's what a lot of times what we do as black people. Who we go see? We go to the church, but a lot of times those people
They
are
don't
not.
understand.
Well, no, they're not
understand,
actually
but
trained.
they can't really. Right, you're
they're
right.
not trained.
Right.
They're
That's
going
true.
they're going to give you some guidance with faith and on a spiritual way.
Right.
But you might need to actually have conversation with somebody that's
therapist.
actually trained
That knows what they're doing right.
and doesn't actually have any skin in the game. When I say that, they don't know you personally.
Right.
They just trying to have you work these things out. A lot of times when we talk to our friends and family, they got skin in the game,
Right.
and they want to push you in a certain direction.
Right.
You need to have that neutrality sometimes. Hey, Madeline. I think it's always been Madeline, and
You say Madeline?
I always say Madeline, but I think because the way it's spelled, it should be Madeline.
It says
And she
Madeline.
But she never
It says
corrects me.
line
She's
right
such.
there,
I
Madeline
know.
Porter.
She never corrects me. I love that about her. What's she saying?
Hey, Maddie. Okay. Madeline said, when I was depressed my freshman year, I would stop eating. Quit all organizations, cry multiple times a day. Like, it's so much more than just sadness. It feels like a void. It feels like you're empty inside. It feels like a hole. Like you just don't feel nothing. You don't know what to feel. So
Right.
yeah, that's how you feel.
Yes, absolutely.
You just feel empty inside. So I definitely understand. Then the point where I understand when you isolate yourself because you just feel like no one could help you. Like no one understands what you're going through. So I definitely know what you mean, Madeline. So yes.
Oh,
Okay. Hey, Tobocious.
Hey,
How
Tobocious.
you doing? Hello.
thanks, Madeline.
Oh, so it is Madeline.
And I was okay.
You was right, crowd.
All right. I feel better now.
Huh?
Defensive behavior is a sign of mental illness.
I'm messing with
Yes,
names about
that
time.
actually it actually is when people when you start to think that somebody is actually out to get
Out
you.
to get you.
They don't have your well-being.
They don't have your back, right?
And whereas though, and sometimes in some cases, that's a schizophrenia, which whereas though you with hallucinations and you
that's
start
a
having
sign right there,
quote unquote like conspiracies, or whereas though you think even the people your loved ones are out to get you.
Yeah.
And this might seem like it's very trivial, but people having obsession like the OCD is a mental illness to the point where as though you can't go to bed unless the kitchen is a certain way, unless all the dishes are put away, or you have to have certain things in your house or it has to be done or you can't go to the next task. These are all things that
What's that one when people got touched all the time?
They gotta touch all the time.
You know when they just can't help themselves. They gotta touch something more than that's not OCD.
When
right?
they gotta touch, when they gotta do certain things in a rhythm,
right? That's part of OCD, ain't
that's
it?
That's a part of OCD,
Okay.
and then it's also like where they say some people are on like a certain spectrum. They say autism is like a mental illness, whereas though, and just being on a certain spectrum, it's a lot of things that we actually really take for granted, and I think it's a lot of times, especially in my age bracket and older, we kind of like push these things to the side with our loved ones, our friends, and we would just blow it off. Like we all know,
and then it get worse.
We all know you just have that. You got Uncle Joe in that back room upstairs, and y'all gotta bring his food to him, and he don't never come down. He just
never interact with people.
He just crazy. He just
crazy,
off.
Joe.
He just
Crazy
off
Joe.
with this. But these
Right
are all
like that.
things that, if we actually pinpointed and looked into it and really cared, and I can't blame a lot of people because we have so much other things going in our life. I'm talking about as in our community that we never really take mental illness as being something that's really serious. Because everybody I have anxiety. I don't have anxiety issues to the point where as though it's an illness, but just I got a problem with driving over bridges.
Right.
And when I'm in the car and I'm driving over a bridge, I feel those butterflies in my stomach. And it's just like I get anxious or things like that. Now, some people might say that's not normal or something, or I wouldn't characterize that as being an illness, but I do think I understand when people say they have anxiety and it's just overpowering them, whereas though they just have panic attacks, because a lot of times they can't deal with everyday things, people having problems with being in crowds, being in malls.
Yeah, I don't like to be around a lot of people.
But I'm saying
I could, but
you
I
could.
can't. I could,
But if you had a true mental illness or
Right.
phobia about that, you would break down. You
Right.
would actually have breathing
Panic
hard
attacks, right.
and just like this shit is not funny. This is not funny. It's not. We shouldn't even because just because we can't see why this is doing this to a person, it doesn't mean that it's not real.
Right.
It's real to them.
Right. It's true.
Our community has been raised to fear physicians because of experimentation. That's true in a lot of cases, but when I'm talking about when you're going to go see a therapist, it doesn't always have to be. It don't always have to be medication though.
And it's crazy because mental illness, I'm sure it's been around. It's been here for years. You ever sure like way back in the days when they was killing people, thinking, oh, they're witches, this, that, and the third. They probably just had a mental damn illness.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah.
They just was killing people. Just killing.
Right. I mean, they didn't have the
But
proper
they didn't have to diagnose it.
because
Right.
people just.
They couldn't understand.
Or they could have been bipolar.
Right.
They could have been schizophrenic.
They don't understand when people's different from
And
them.
they couldn't deal with that situation at all.
Right.
And
Even a therapist, we've been subject to psych experiments.
okay. You just gonna try to throw a wrench in everything I'm fucking trying to say today when I'm trying to get people to help. Okay? See, you just one of those people that's just anti anything. But you know
Who you
people got
talking to,
problems.
Peach?
She know who I'm talking to.
Oh.
I ain't gotta say it.
Peach? Oh.
She going to try to knock down everything I say. But you sure enough ain't gonna tell. You sure enough ain't trying to tell me to go tell them people to go see their pastor though either. So what they supposed to just sit there and drink some whiskey and get over it? Suck it up? People need
It's
help.
not that easy.
It's not
that easy. Okay.
Madeline, thank you for sharing that, Madeline. I appreciate that.
Sometimes white therapists do more damage because they misunderstand black issues, and when they're discussed, they're dismissed.
You absolutely right, and that brings up a powerful point to you. When I went to therapy,
I got me a black therapist.
I got me a black woman.
I got a black woman too.
I went and got me a black woman.
Yeah.
And only because of that part of that issue. And it's the same thing. Whereas though, in a lot of things that I do try to get. For one, I try to get with not always, but I do try. For me,
why woman?
Because I think, for me personally, I think women have more compassion.
Right, they understand,
and
right.
more compassion.
Feeling,
and,
right.
And that they're going to give it to you straight.
Right.
Even my doctor is a woman. I'm talking about my personal physician is a woman, and I've always requested those. But I don't see any problem with if you are going to go to therapy, if you want to try to get somebody that can identify with you and maybe have the same type of issues, because it's kind of hard when people say, they have empathy. Empathy is not an easy thing to have.
It's not. Everybody don't have empathy.
Because I'm not empathetic to a lot of things and a lot of people, because sometimes I don't see why.
You must be something, because people still want your damn advice. I don't know. Like, what the hell?
Oh, I got empathy I have empathy when it comes to women.
Okay.
And their struggles, but I'm talking about certain other things in the world. I mean, I'm not empathetic towards because I don't see it.
Right.
But I try to get a connection with people that deserve a connection.
Okay. But I definitely think if you're having some type of issues and you feel you're not right, you're feeling not yourself and you're just going through these things that we've mentioned today, definitely, if you got insurance, call your insurance and find a therapist. Definitely, I think it's a great thing to do because I think everyone needs someone to talk to. You don't always want to speak to your family members or your best friend, or you can't always speak to your boyfriend. You need someone who doesn't know you. Need their advice. You don't want people judging you. I feel like sometimes, and then you don't want your business out all in your family. Everybody's just talking about it. That's what usually happens. But
I judge you every day.
get you a therapist.
I judge you every day.
That's why I say, yeah, just get you a therapist.
Every day. Every day.
You judge me every day?
Every day.
Really?
Yes.
Hope it's good things.
Some days it's not a good judgment.
Vice versa. Look at you, Crown.
What?
Hell with you.
You need help.
Yeah.
And sometimes we all need help.
Definitely get you some help, especially when you start. It gets to the point where you're thinking about harming yourself.
Ooh.
Or even suicide. Because you mentioned that there's been a lot of suicides since COVID's been going on, right?
And actually a lot of times the suicide rate is very high with people under 30.
Really?
Yes, because listen, when people...
I wonder why under 30...
Well, because they...
It's like school age? Well,
college,
right?
People,
they feel pressured.
Madeline said it herself. She was a freshman in college.
Right.
Think about it. You leave home. This is your first time leaving home. Mm-hmm. You in this weird place. You might not have a lot of friends. Then this is your first time really truly being an adult, and you getting pressure to your parents done put out this money, or you got a scholarship. Mm-hmm. You trying to do that.
College ain't easy.
You lonely. You
right.
trying to meet these new friends. And it's just it's very overpowering.
Right.
A lot of people drop out
right.
their first year, or people try to commit suicide, and then a lot of times when you
they just feel like I just don't want to be here anymore. They feel like it's just
this is the void.
Struggle.
This is the void that she was talking
right.
about. I mean, I have friends and family members that have struggled with some type of mental illness, with anxiety, with panic attacks, with maybe some type of bipolar disorder. But a lot of it can be pinpointed to a lot of different things. Right. It could be stuff that came up in there. And we don't look at it because, and I only can talk about because I'm looking at it as though with women, being having sexual issues, being maybe like molested as a child, or being harassed at school or work, or things like that, and sometimes we just like I keep on saying, we pushing it aside, or they don't feel comfortable about talking to somebody about people. Then they don't eat. They become bulimic, or people cut themselves.
Yeah, they do.
And
I think that's just to feel pain, like to feel like something.
Because you don't feel.
You want to feel something.
The way it was playing.
Like you say, you feel empty. So you want to just feel something.
That's what it was. I know somebody that did cut, and they said, I was emotionless. I didn't feel anything. And then it was as though the medication that they were on stopped them from hearing the voices and having these bad feelings.
Something else.
But it triggered that as though they just didn't feel
nothing.
I'm just here.
Right.
I'm just here.
That's how it is when you're depressed.
People are judged every moment of the day, get thicker skin.
But some people don't know how to deal with it. Okay, that's like, if you say that people are judged every day, just like in the LGBT community. They're judged all the time. But there's a lot of depression going on in there too, because people don't understand them. People don't accept them, and there's a lot of suicide with that as well, because they just feel alone. They feel like no one understands them,
Or they can't. They can't
be
true their
themselves.
real life,
Right.
live their truth.
Right.
And I get that.
And that's what just sometimes I just worry about other people, how other people think of them. People just gotta just worry about yourself.
That's very difficult to do sometimes if
Yes.
you are a person that wants to be liked and that wants to be accepted.
Yeah.
I'm a
What's
person.
so normal? What's really normal?
right.
Shit.
Like, I think I'm a very confident person, and I generally don't really care about what other people think about me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that is an anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and sometimes I gotta be more empathetic and have passion because just like you are not the same as me.
Right.
So what affects you, I can't just push off and say, you know what, get over it. Because, maybe we need to have a conversation and be like, all right, well, why do you feel that way? Well, how is this impacting you? Because one specific thing can impact two different people two different ways, but it's the same thing. You know, I'm might be type of person that if I watch something on television that I can cry. And you might think that's just stupid because I'm so emotional into something that is like non-fictional, but the story makes me cry.
I see somebody cry, I'm crying, so I don't know. But I definitely get it, yes. But yeah, this is a great situation. Nobody's gonna call us today. What's up with that? Nobody want to. People do be calling us sometimes. Stop acting like people don't be never calling us.
Nobody never calls.
People do call us.
But
you're not feeling this conversation. What's going on? This is a great conversation to have.
What about the other signs?
Some other signs.
What's the other signs?
You have more and more difficulty dealing with normal life situations,
which we touched on.
Yes. You're sleeping way too much or too little.
Yo, I know a lot of people that have struggles, and I mean, I don't know if that's. I never thought that about that with mental illness by actually not getting enough sleep.
It does affect. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that.
Insomnia.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I always just pop a pill or take some gummies and I'm good.
You start abusing drugs or alcohol?
Oh,
what to decide.
Yeah. People always the pain relief. Yeah. People are.
You just don't want to. You want to feel numb. You don't want to feel how you feeling. But then the only thing about that is once it wears off, you go right back to feeling the same way.
Yeah, but that's why.
But it's just for the moment, I guess.
But that's why when a lot of times people just constantly are chasing that high, so they're constantly just always drinking.
Right.
And it's usually you got to be able to pinpoint. It's like, what's going on? Why are you doing this?
Right.
And a lot of times it's what would be called a trigger. And you break up. I understand when you break up in a relationship, you lose a job or you have a death in the family or something like that. That could be a trigger, but that's kind of explainable. And that's what I'm saying. But when you actually do those things and there's nothing you can actually pinpoint, then that's something
in your brain, some of your mind, mind. You have extreme anger or outbursts. You just angry all the time. These are signs. We're going through signs here that you might have.
Somebody says
a mental illness.
Oh yeah, that's good. Oh wait,
what happened?
Madeline, let's get in my position as a pastor's daughter. I thought if I come out, how will it affect my father and the congregations. I wanted till I was away at college to come out for many reasons, and I was scared. My sexuality also brought upon some depressive issues because I tried to suppress it. Exact. She said you didn't live your truth,
right? And
you were still searching
just to satisfy someone else,
right? And then worried about, of course, and that's.
But then I get it. You was a pastor's daughter, so.
No, but but see, that's just not. She said to her father in the congregation.
It's a lot of people.
And so it's where as though
a lot of people judging you.
She was worried about how it would reflect on her, and actually how it would reflect on her father.
Oh, that's true. Right.
because
so you had to worry about
I never
both
understood.
aspects.
I was dating a woman
Mm-hmm.
who her daughter came out to her, and I thought it was so narcissistic of her to
Wow.
say that she had failed and how it made her feel that her daughter was gay. She just, and I guess it might have just been me, but it just felt a little off-putting to me that she just took it like I raised her a certain way type thing, and oh my God, this is horrible. This is like the end of the world type mentality. And I guess it was like one of those little stages of, maybe the stages of death or whatever, whereas though you get to, denial, acceptance, and all that good shit. But it just threw me off, whereas though when this is something this young lady had been struggling with for several, like 6-7 years, and she finally came and told her, and she said she was crying, and she was so strongly, like she was worried that her mother wouldn't love her anymore.
Right.
And she was more on the whole like, I don't believe she did this to me type shit.
Oh gosh, people always try to make it about them.
No, that's a mental illness too, being narcissistic like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But overeating, shopping, perfectionist.
Overeating, over shopping.
And being perfectionist, there are people that have, yes, these are all little different signs. Just like when people, just obsessive behavior.
Right.
And
basically, that overeating, over shopping, you just basically trying to
fill a hole.
Exactly.
You're trying to fill a hole. And I'm not just talking about your mouth.
Yeah.
That was just right on time. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
But that's all true. That's all true. And you have to look at that.
Yeah.
This is something that we truly need to just step back and try to identify, especially,
Don't yourself. You gotta just look.
Especially in our children and and teenagers, because they could be going through stuff,
right?
And we just not seeing
attention, right?
Because especially because we know when kids are teenagers, they start kind of backing off from their parents and things of that nature. But you really need to know, if their routine is changed. Do they have friends? Are they still doing the same things? Are they working? Are they being, how are they doing in school? Sometimes all these things have repercussions.
Not even just teenagers, the younger ones. Because I think these kids these days, they just be thinking a lot. And that's a sign of depression. Like, they get in their self-depressed because they just thinking about all the things that's going on. You know what I'm saying? With COVID and stuff. So they're realizing people's really dying with these things. And a lot of things are going on. So they start thinking about themselves. So, yeah, when you start thinking a lot, your thinking will drive you crazy. You got to get out your mind sometimes. Try to do something else. Occupy your time. What?
What I always tell you.
What? I think too much?
There you go.
But you're not the only one that ever told me that. You're not the only one that ever told me I think too much, so. I know that.
You think too much, you think about the wrong shit. Overly sexually active is another sign of mental. Yeah. Actually.
Overly sexually active is another sign. Oh, because that's another. They trying to just feel something. They just don't want to think about what's going on with them, so they try
Sex
to
addiction
put
is
their
real.
time on something else. Basically.
Sex addiction is real.
Is it?
It's
you
real.
Got one?
Don't be. Don't. No, I'm saying don't.
Oh,
don't.
You gotta
that Eric Renee shit was real. Y'all don't understand.
Oh.
Oh, that shit is real.
Oh, but Holly
Berry? I'm just saying, having addiction. I went to therapy for sex addiction.
Yeah.
I did.
Wow. I don't know.
I didn't because I was.
What was wrong? You just was.
You felt filling the hole about love and having sex, and it's because you're trying to find love.
Right.
And it was actually gambling smoking, sex, drugs, alcohol. A lot of times, if you don't do anything that's not done in moderation, there is an issue. If you drink too much daggone water, if you exercise too much, if you do anything on a compulsive thing, that is a problem.
Just overdoing it.
Right. Everything should be in moderation.
Right.
So, even with being sexually active, that can be a overdose. And that could be something in your mentality.
Okay.
And I know it. Because sometimes you're not thinking straight. It's the same, just like when people are on drugs. You know, I mean, if you actually into something so deeply and so strongly that you can't even get pulled away from. You know?
Right.
I used to have a gambling problem. And it was just like getting hit. Never did drugs. But gambling was just like a drug.
Right.
The highs, the lows,
right.
trying to jump and get that high.
And chasing
that high. You know, and
that's a real addiction right there.
Yeah, it can be. It can be anything can be considered
an addiction.
Or it could be something. The mind is a very powerful and deceptive thing, because you can make yourself believe stuff, or if you do have some type of problem, you'll allow your mind to tell you something.
Right.
Just like, you know, you think somebody's out to get you, or somebody doesn't love you. Yeah, or
that mind could be a dangerous thing.
Yes, and sometimes you need to be helped, and sometimes it could be if you on certain medications, it throws you into a certain a certain way.
Yeah, you on certain medications give you you start having hallucinations. Sometimes it's just having bad thoughts. Doing crazy things.
Peach, I'm an obsessive compulsion person. I can admit it. Yeah, but about time. I already knew that. But being obsessive could be a good thing if it's not overboard. Could it? Yeah, because sometimes yes, because most people that are driven are obsessive. And they want to, and they try to do things the right way, and they want to keep moving forward. And those people are not procrastinators. So you can be obsessive and passionate about something.
So maybe she's just obsessive and passionate.
Nah, she just crazy as shit. It's a totally different thing. I'll let that go.
All right, we're gonna just leave that alone.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
But
anyway,
have you ever in your life, thought that, looking back at it now, can you see that maybe somebody in your life that may have had some type of mental illness that was like maybe undiagnosed and you just like kind of overlooked it?
No, I have somebody in my family that was diagnosed.
Okay.
It was schizophrenic and just.
When was how old were they when they were diagnosed?
Young. Could have been in the 1 digits. Could have been.
Really?
Yeah.
Because usually, in a lot of cases, it doesn't matter. It doesn't manifest to they're in their early 20s.
Yeah.
They have an actual break.
Right, but it was diagnosed early. Yeah. But it seemed like once that person had gotten to like that age, it got worse.
That's the break.
So yeah, definitely. That's crazy. Yeah, because you're at a worse point right now. But yeah, it's just a crazy situation.
And that's somebody. That's somebody where as though you gotta actually like monitor on a regular basis and stuff like.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you take their medication and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely gotta monitor. Yep. But yes, y'all. So, how y'all feel about this topic tonight, y'all? How did y'all feel? We want to know.
Yeah.
Well, Crown doesn't want to know. He damn doesn't even care, y'all. All right, y'all. So, Yeah. Also suffer from. So it said 90% of people who have committed suicide also suffer from severe mental depression. You know, so.
Yeah, I believe that, and maybe it's undiagnosed or or they just
Mm-hmm.
it's the worst thing in the world to, and I'm going to use personal. I've had three people in my life talk to me about suicide,
Mm-hmm.
and to actually try to talk to a person
Mm-hmm.
about why they should
Need
want.
to stay here.
Yes,
Just to be here, like, right.
it is the great. That's not the word. It's the hardest thing to actually have a conversation about because
It's true.
especially when it's some. Now, of course, these are people that I know very personally and that's dear to me. So it was just like almost just being angry that they actually have that thought pattern that they just want to give up. And I didn't understand it until personally I was in a situation where as though I contemplated it. Like 12 years ago. And I don't but it wasn't because of a mental illness. It was just I felt as though my life was
I just feel like you really
Well,
must have came at the bottom.
I felt as though I was at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Lost my job, lost my marriage, lost my kids. Just sitting in a basement of my sister's house and and just thought that like I fucked my life up.
Right, it just was over. Like you
Like
might as well
why
finish it.
just having that thought like so rock bottom.
Right.
Just feeling like there was nothing else to go on.
Right.
So personally, of course, I didn't do it.
Right. Well,
I came out of it, but
some people are not able to.
Right, but so when we'll talk to the couple people that was in there. I just shared that and just kind of like, yo, you are so special, and not only to me, to so and so. So no, this is who you are. This is you're good. You're great, and and giving the reasons why. And it's awkward because these people don't feel the same way. You got a phone call?
I got a phone call? Oh.
Check. I think you're getting a phone call. A text. I'm sorry.
Text message.
Your phone.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I was like, I didn't hear a phone ring or whatever.
Yeah, so NAMI reports say up to 100,000 people in the U.S. will experience psychosis every year. Lovely.
Could be more than that.
Right now, that was actually 2018.
Oh shoot, it's probably up. It's
probably way up right now.
It's probably way
up
since then. Yeah, I bet you that. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but yes, guys. So that was a show today, y'all.
Yeah.
So, if anyone needs any help out there, you feel like you want to speak to someone, we have a Delaware Suicide and Crisis Hotline. It's 1-800-SUICIDE, 1-800-273-TALK. Or you could go to suicidehotline.com and look up a hotline that's close to your area. NAMI hotline is NAMI.org or 1-800-950-NAMI. That's NAMI. All right, y'all. So,
or just talk to somebody that you just
find a therapist.
Or talk to somebody that you
need a
love.
Judgment-free zone.
That you close to.
All right, y'all.
And especially in this time with COVID.
Yeah.
Yo, check up on people.
Yeah.
It's
people
very
are really
important.
going through it right now.
Check up on people.
I know people that's
Even if it's I'm just checking in on you. Just see what's going on.
Right.
You eating?
Let them know you're thinking about them. Right.
Lord knows I got to tell this one to eat every damn day. I didn't eat anything.
You know what? Stop throwing me under the bus. What is wrong with you? I'm sick of you today. God damn it.
So
Yes, y'all. So we'll be back next Friday. We'll put up the topic on the page on the Behind Closed Doors page for you guys. All right. So that was our show for tonight. Make sure you share the show because this was a very interesting topic tonight, and I feel like there's a lot of people out there that needs to hear this or might need some information. We'll leave the information below for you guys. And that's it. Y'all have a great weekend. Stay safe out there.
And thank you for coming back, Madeline. My Madeline's back. I'm so happy.
Thank you for everybody that tuned in tonight. All right,
Especially
y'all.
Madeline.
Especially Madeline. Thank you, Madeline.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a great night. Bye, guys.
Watching the silhouette from the candlelight, slipping and sliding a little more to the right. They say all the freaky bitches come out at night. Yeah, I'm the one that's full of fun, guaranteed to make you come. I'ma put it down for sure. Once you enter through the door, drop them drawers like you Denzel. I don't believe in snacks, you could get the whole meal.